whatever you've learned before, leave it outside of the room. If up until now you have a degree in psychiatry or psychology or you've tried something before, don't bring it to the room. Because if you come into this with the mindset that maybe this isn't going to work, you're going to get in your own way. And there's no reason to get in your own way if you literally came here to change your life. We all agree? Yes. Awesome. The second thing is, I'd like you to think about your goals. Most of the time people think about their goals, but their goals are very small. So when you think, oh, we're in Israel, there's not a lot of money, I can't really be successful, I can't be a millionaire, I can't find the love of my life, I can't heal my body, whatever it is, I want you to think about it differently. The only difference between where you're at and where you can be is what you believe. Because if you don't believe it, you're not going to make it happen. Here's an example I give everyone in the U.S. If right now, someone you love the most needed you to make an extra 100,000 shekel over the next 30 days. And for you, some of you, because some of you guys have more money, let's just say $1 million, $2 million, whatever makes sense to you, whatever is a lot of money to you. Okay? If you had to make that much money in the next 30 days, or the person you love the most, your parents, your kids would die, raise your hand if you would make the money. Keep your hand up. Look around. Is there anyone who doesn't have their hand up? Okay. What does that tell you? It means everyone can do it. You just don't have enough of a reason to do it. So if we could find the reason, you'll all make it happen. The problem is, most people live in a paradox. And the paradox is, why would I make more money if my life is good enough? I have food on my plate, I pay the bills, it's all good. There's no reason to make more. And that's what unconsciously prevents you from thinking bigger. So I have to show you how to hack your brain. Because making more, doing more, being more isn't about working harder. It's actually about getting a better result with less effort. Most people think, if I go make more money now, let's just say you work 40 hours a week. So if I work 40 hours a week, most people go, I need to work 80 hours to double my income. That's not how it works. If I work 40 hours, I should now think about how I can work 10 hours and make twice as much. How to work 10 hours this week and make what I would have made working 80 before. It's a completely different mindset. So here's how it works. At least in the US, I'll have some people up on stage. And I give this example because I try to demonstrate how powerful the subconscious is. And our subconscious mind is running the show completely. Whatever you're programmed to get is what you're going to get. And when I have these people up on stage, at the time, I'll be hypnotizing them, and I tell them they can't put a piece of paper in a cup. And when I hypnotize them, and I tell them, hey, if you could put the piece of paper in a cup, I'm going to give each of you $1,000. How many of them do you think put the piece of paper in the cup? 0. How many of them wanted to do it? All of them. So how many of us want to make more money? How many of us want to lose weight? How many of us want to stop smoking? How many of us want to change something? But some of us can't do it, right? Why? Because it's not in your programming. So the same way they can't put a piece of paper in a cup, even though there's a clear reward, they make money, it's a very easy task, but they're programmed not to be able to do it. So all of us are programmed to have what we have right now. Everything you have in your life right now is a result of what you've been programmed for. So how do you even get programmed in the first place? Well, one, the culture here isn't big on making money for some reason, right? The stereotype is that Jews make a lot of money, but for some reason in Israel, they leave it behind. It's only the rest of the world where we do that, right? But in Israel, everyone's like, fuck, we don't make anything. So I want to help change your mindset around it. Money, most people view it the wrong way. They pedestalize it. So if I'm scared to spend money, it's because I don't think I'm going to make more, right? If it's really hard to go make more money, I'm not going to spend it. Think about it. Imagine us, 10,000 years ago, you're in a cave and you live with another 150 people. You go hunt. It takes you 3 days. You lose a couple of your friends. They get killed. And then you get some food, you bring it back, and you know you lost some friends, you got beat up, you cut your leg, you feel like shit, and now some guy who's lazy is like, hey, can I get some food? You're probably going to be like, I'm not going to give him the food, right? So back in the day, we used to operate in scarcity. So scarcity means I don't think I'm going to get more of something. You feel there's a lot of lack. So in a relationship, scarcity looks like I can't walk away from something that's not good for me. I got to be around bad friends. I got to keep bad employees. I can't replace someone. With money, it means I can't spend the money because more money's not coming in. Anytime you're in scarcity, you're never going to get more of anything. So the first thing I want to do with all of you is I want to teach you how to think in abundance. Now, what comes first? The mindset or the money? What comes first? The mindset or the relationship? The mindset, it's always your mind. Most people think when you make the money, when you have the life you're looking for, eventually you'll feel happy. But it's not how it works. It's the happiness, right? It's that state that you're in, the emotion you're in that creates the life you want. Most of the time, the emotions you feel create everything you do. So emotions create your actions. If I feel the wrong emotions, I then take the wrong actions. And if I take the wrong actions, I get the wrong results. So here's a good example of this. If I'm feeling stressed or anxious, all the actions I'm going to take are going to hurt me. They're not going to be helpful. Imagine being in a relationship and you're insecure the whole time. You're constantly jealous. You're constantly worried about what they're going to do. You're constantly thinking about, hey, where are you going? Who are you talking to? Who texted you? The relationship's eventually going to end. If it didn't end now, it's going to end later on. Or it's going to be very, very unenjoyable. Same thing in business. If you're constantly stressed out, what are we going to make the money? I don't know. That's when businesses go under. Every time I work with clients, if I have clients who are billionaires, the second they go into this mindset, a scarcity mindset, I can tell you it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when they go under. It's a matter of when they lose everything. So the question is, when times are good, it's easy to feel good. How do I feel good no matter what's going on? No matter when there's rockets pouring down from Iran and I can't go work today and I'm not going to be making money and everything's going south and I lose a friend, how can I still be in the right mindset? Some people might feel guilty for being in the right mindset. You just lost a friend the other day, right? Because they're in war and now you feel guilty. How can I be happy when someone died? It's not about being happy because someone died. It's not about saying I'm delusional and I'm pretending that I'm not feeling good. It's about understanding why you even feel that way in the first place. Emotions are strategies. Your brain creates the feeling so you can get the result. If I feel good, it's to get good things. If I feel bad, it's to get bad things. So here's how the brain works. So imagine you have a timeline, the past, the future. Your mind is constantly predicting the future. So let's just say right now, you think that over here is your future, over there is your past. Well, if in my future I see everything going to shit, I feel horrible, I feel like I'm going to be a loser, who here is going to feel good? Let's say you're going into a car, you're driving, you're on the way home, and you know you're going to get in a horrible car accident. Who here is going to feel good getting in the car? Probably no one. No one's going to fucking feel good if you know you're going to die getting in the car, right? But if you knew you get in the car, you get home, and there's a massive gift, you made $1 million, whatever it is, who's going to feel excited? Probably everyone. So this is how it works in the present. The way you feel in the moment depends on what you see in the future. So most people are unaware of what they see happening in the future. So let's just say you talk to someone, and they give you bad news, or they make you feel, they say something to you that's a bit rude. Well, in that moment, you might say, okay, but what really happened is it showed you a different future which you didn't like. And that future then upsets you. So another good example is in a relationship, if you're going out with someone, you like them a lot, and then they say something to you that doesn't align with what you expected. Maybe they suddenly tell you they're a drug addict or something, right? Well, now you don't see the future you saw with them anymore, and now you don't feel good anymore. Or if they cheated on you, suddenly you see a future that's not with them. So it hurts. Because you're feeling like shit because you no longer see the future you wanted. The idea is regardless of what happens, how can you pluck that person out of the future and know someone else will take their spot? If you spend the money or your bank account goes down, how can you still have the success you envision without feeling bad? Most people can't do that. Most people, if something sets them off or throws them off, that future completely collapses and they no longer see it. And then that makes them feel horrible in the present. And when you feel bad in the present, the actions you take hurt you. So the answer is, how do I control my feelings all the time to make sure that I'm always heading to where I want to go? I think at the beginning of every seminar, I like to teach people how to think about their goals. Why? Because most of the time, when you ask someone what they want, they say, I don't really know. Who here is super clear on what they want? Who's not? Fantastic. I want you to write down 3 goals. There's 3 areas I like to focus on. 1, wealth, obviously. How much money do I want to be making? Most people think about how much money they want to be making. And even if you've made the money, right? I've already made all the money. That mindset takes away your hunger. right? If you feel satisfied or you're satiated, there's no more reason to make more money. That's a very bad mindset if you want to build. Progress is what's going to keep you moving, right? So you need to constantly make progress. Even if you're a fucking billionaire in the room. I do not care. Think about the next goal. There should always be another goal. So I'd like you to write down your goals. How much would you like to be making? How much money do I want to be making every single month? Some people might say, think about it in a year, but a year is a lot harder to connect to. If I tell you in 1 year, you're gonna find the person of your dreams, you're gonna have a six-pack, or you're gonna win the lottery. Sounds cool, but it's pretty far away. But if you think about it monthly, you start making the change right now. So how much do I want to make every month? What about your health? Everyone has some health goals, right? Maybe some bad habits they want to stop, some things they want to do different, diet, fitness goals. And the last one is relationships, business relationships, friendships, personal relationships, intimate relationships. What are my goals in these areas? Sometimes people make a lot of money but have horrible relationships. Some people have great relationships but don't make enough money and aren't healthy. But how do you get all three dialed in? And how do you make sure you're thinking big enough? A lot of the time when we think about these things, it's not big enough. We're thinking too small. So you're going to write down these three things and you're going to talk to a partner next to you and we're going to share these goals. Here is the thing I'd like you to do. If your partner sets a goal for like 40,000 shkalim kol chodesh, it's way too fucking small. Like, it's not even, it's just ridiculous. So, I'd like you guys to think bigger. So if your partner says something stupid, tell them to think bigger. Now, here's what's going to happen. Even if you write it down and you've never made more than, let's say, 30,000 shekel in a month or something. You're going to be like, well, how? And then you're not going to do anything else. If you fell in love with someone and you really wanted them, would you go, how am I going to get them, and give up? Would you? If someone you love the most was about to die unless you made something happen, would you be like, well, how am I going to make it happen, and give up? No, you'd probably think about it, right? Most people get lazy when it comes to reaching their goals. They just don't think about it. If you think about it long enough, you're going to figure it out. That's just how it works. If you want it bad enough, you'll figure it out. So it starts with the goal. You set the goal. I'll give you the confidence that you can make it happen, and then you go fucking make it happen. Sound fair? Yes? All right, so let's write down our goals, and we'll go from there. Someone just came up to me and said, it's so far away to think about anything over 50,000 shekel. Who else feels similar? Honest. Be honest, not embarrassing. Cool. Good. Well, that exact mindset, that it's far away, is why you'll never make it. Because you've never even thought about it. It's harder for me, and I know this will sound ridiculous. It'll also sound completely not logical. This will sound like it has no logic. It'll even sound a little bit like bullshit. I'll explain it in a minute. It's harder for me to make under $300,000, $250,000, $300,000 a month. It's more difficult for me to make less than that every month than it is for me to make more than that every month. I would have to try not to make the money for me not to make the money. I would have to literally fire everyone in my company. I would have to completely delete everything. I would have to remove my websites. I would have to ignore every message I get of people wanting to work with me. I would have to try not to make the money. And I'd somehow still make money. I bring this up to you because what's the difference between me, who was homeless when I was younger and started from nothing, and you? The only difference is my relationship with money. I'll give you a good example. When I first started, people would come have a session with me, and I was scared to ask for money. I would pour my heart out, and I couldn't ask for the money. I was fucking scared because my relationship with money was so bad. I used to view money as this crazy thing. I promise you, it is completely different. Who here thought about like 5 million a month? Okay, but here's the thing, because I could say whatever number too. Whatever, I prefer dollars, but shkalim too. If you don't know the difference, just multiply it by 3 or 4. That's the difference. or divide it. So $1 million is like 4 million. It's like 3.8 million shekel. So here's the thing. If I tell you to think about a big goal, like you don't believe you can make more than 50,000, and if I tell you now to think about 300,000 or 400,000, and you're like, it's so far away, if anything, it demotivates you. It does the opposite of motivate you. It doesn't get you excited. It gets you to do the opposite because you don't even believe it's possible. So I'll give you guys a good example. If I gave each and every one of you a lottery ticket, but you knew it was the losing ticket. I'm not trying to play a trick on you. I'm being honest. It's the losing ticket. You did not win. How many would get up and go cash it in? Probably nobody, right? It's the losing ticket. But if you knew for a fact it was the winning ticket, who would go cash it in? Okay, that is the difference between reaching your goal and not reaching it. If you believe that your goal, you had the winning lottery ticket, you were going to actually reach your goal, what would you do to cash in that goal? What would you do to go make it happen? You would do anything. That's the difference between someone who sets a big goal and goes after it versus someone who doesn't believe it's possible. If you believe it's possible, you'll pursue it. If you don't believe it's possible, it'll never happen in your entire life. This is what I've noticed. I've noticed the one variable that allows someone to reach their goals is their confidence. You're either confident you're going to win or you're confident you're going to lose. You're either confident you're going to reach your goals or you're confident you're going to fail. So there are three things. Now, this is NLP, just so you guys know. Your state is how you feel. How you feel determines a lot of things. One, it determines how you look at the world. Two, it determines your actions. And three, whatever you're feeling for the longest amount of time determines your results. For example, when you're motivated to go to the gym, if you're motivated long enough, you'll get the result. Even when you're starving, even when you're not feeling good, if you still get up and you go to the gym, you get the result. If you follow the diet, you get the result. But when you start getting lazy and you start feeling bad for yourself and you start saying this is hard, that's when you fuck up. Same thing when it comes to business. Things aren't going your way, you're getting rejected, you're running out of money, you're running out of opportunity, everyone around you is telling you, what the fuck are you thinking? And then you start feeling affected, maybe they're right, and suddenly you don't actually get the goal you're looking for. There are three things that control your state. The first one is your focus. Now, focus isn't just what I'm looking at. Your mind looks at three things all the time. The first thing is it's looking at the present. Focus I'm talking about. It's you. Everything you focus on, you're focusing on three things at all times. One, the present. So what does the present tell me about the future based on my past? So based on what I've been through, what have I seen before that I can compare this moment to? And then what does it mean is going to happen in my future? So if someone suddenly, you guys are all in Israel, if suddenly I have this backpack on and I'm nervous and I'm sweating and I throw it in the crowd and I go, Allahu Akbar, what are you guys all going to think is going to happen with the backpack? Well, you get the gist, right? That's a pattern that you've developed in this country. If all of a sudden we all got a red alert on our phone, what does it mean? It means there's a rocket coming our way, right? So based on something you've learned in the past, something happens in the present, you compared it to what you know, now your brain has a blueprint for what will happen in the future. This controls how you feel. Your focus. Now, on a more advanced level, you focus on the future all the time. If someone starts talking to you, if someone looks at you, based on what your future is, whatever you think your future is, completely affects how you are in the present. Like I said before, if you get in a car and you think you're going to crash, you're going to feel like shit. So it's really important to be aware of what you're focused on. But we'll get into it in a little bit. The second one's your physiology. Your physiology is how you breathe, how you move, how you stand. Everyone lean forward for a sec. Like lean forward all the way down. And look down. Someone try and get motivated like that. Look how many of you sat up. Almost all of you had to sit up to get motivated. It's impossible to get motivated in that position. You cannot do it. You all had to sit up. So your brain and your body are connected. They're literally connected. Everything from how you breathe to how you move controls your feelings. When you move fast, it changes your physiology. If you've ever been in a bad mood, you've been sitting at home, you get up, you go on a walk, you feel different for it's because you changed your physiology. You'll notice if you're in a fight with someone, your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, and then you move, you literally stand up and you move, you go, okay, you know what? I'm sorry, and you move on. Why? Not because you just moved. Not because you just felt like getting over the fight. It's because you moved, you changed your state. So by changing your physiology, you changed your state, and now the fight stopped. The only reason the fight ended or the argument ended is because someone had to change their state. The person who can control their emotions most, the person who could be the most flexible, go from one emotion to the other, who has the most control over their emotions internally, has the most control over anyone in a room or an environment or in a negotiation. That is the number one thing. How can I control my state? Now, the third thing is your self-talk. Actually, physiology has one more thing. What you put in your body. If your blood sugar is high, if you're sick, if you are drunk or you are hungover or you did drugs, all of this can affect your physiology, right? All of it. And obviously that affects your mood. So if someone gives you a bunch of drugs, you're not going to feel very good. It's going to change your state. The third thing is your self-talk. What do I tell myself? Some people have horrible self-talk. This is not good enough. They go, I don't know. I'm stupid. I don't know enough. All that self-talk creates a low confidence, negative state, right? Dol showed you the vibrations. What vibration do you think you'll be in if that's your self-talk? Probably a pretty fucking low one. The only self-talk you should have in your head is that you're the fucking best. Period. There's no other self-talk to have. Now, there's something that I've noticed culturally in Israel, and it says be humble, right? You'd agree? Liot sanua. Okay, I disagree. Completely. The definition of being humble is to dim your own light. Liot sanua. Dim your own light. The problem with that is what person who has a successful business, right? If Dol told you, yeah, you know, my stuff's okay, who would sign up? No one would. You're not spending your hard-earned fucking money on something that might work because it's okay. You spend it on something because they tell you it's the fucking best. Why would someone come to you for anything if you don't believe you're the best? If they can go to someone else, why would they come to you? If I'm going to go eat a hamburger and there's 3 stores in front of me, I'm going to eat at the one with the best reviews that tells me that's the best hamburger. They advertise it's the best. If you look at Michael Jordan, you look at Kobe Bryant, Ronaldo, you look at Messi, in every interview they're in, all of them say they are the best to ever play the game. That's what they think about themselves. Being humble really means stay broke. It means I'm going to stay small. People play small because they think small. So get out of your head. Now, you might say, well, I don't want people to judge me. The right people won't judge you. As a matter of fact, the more successful someone is, the more they like it when someone talks about how good they are. They like it. They're like, I like the confidence. The only people who won't like it are people who think like this. Think super small, who aren't going anywhere, and then you could filter them out of your life. When I first started this, I still thought big. I knew I'd be very, very good. And then I got really good, and I started getting a lot of success. And people were like, you know, Marcel, you aren't humble. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not humble. I'm never going to be humble. Because again, imagine what that state is. Like if I'm on stage here and I tell you guys, yeah, I'm good at what I do. I'm okay at what I do. None of you would be here. You wouldn't spend 3 days of your time listening to me. It doesn't make any sense. So self-talk. What do I tell myself? There's always a formula. Now, imagine this. You get up in the morning and you feel a certain way. You go about the afternoon, you feel a certain way. You go to sleep, there's a certain feeling. About 95% of your thoughts repeat every single day. You have about 75,000, 85,000 thoughts every single day. Over 95% of those thoughts are repeated every single day. So in other words, you're doing the same shit over and over and over again. I can't do it here, but I'll give you an example of what I do. It's on my YouTube channel in the US. Usually when I'm demonstrating this, I'll bring someone up on stage, I'll hypnotize them, I'll tell them every time I shake their hand, they forget they met me. They walk outside the room. They walk back in. They introduce themselves to me. I shake their hand, and they repeat it. And they'll repeat maybe 30 or 40 times. I make it ridiculous. I exaggerate it. It's like 20 minutes of them just doing the same thing over and over. And everyone's laughing. Everyone's making fun of them. And then I look at everyone. I'm like, yeah, you know, who here goes to work and does the same shit every day? And then suddenly everyone realizes this is them. Except this guy's doing it over the course of a minute. Everyone's doing it every single day. If you want a different result, you want your bank account to change, you want your life to look different, you want to feel different, you got to think differently. Most people are in a loop. They're thinking the same fucking thoughts every single day. Why? Because they're feeling the same feelings every single day.
Do you want to be filthy rich? I mean, have so much money you cannot spend it. I'm not talking about buying cars. That's peasant money. I'm talking about buying islands, buying jet on jet on jet, mega yachts. Well, you have to have the mindset of someone who can do it. An abundance mindset. Most people are scared to spend money. Most people are scared to level up. Well, look at my home. It's a $50 million house in Malibu. Forget the house, look at the sunset. That's nature, it's beautiful. But what's even more beautiful than all that is the mindset that allows you to create it and enjoy it. How many miserable rich people do you know? How many people do you know that are rich that won't spend any of their money? They want to save it and take it with them to the grave. How many people do you know that are struggling every day and they have a beautiful dream and they want to level up but they can't? Well, I've created a program that literally teaches you how to have an abundance mindset. And here's the best part. I've just added an extremely powerful hypnosis audio that has never been seen before anywhere else on any of my programs that will program your brain to have it. So what does an abundance mindset look like? It looks like someone who can attract infinite money and spend as much as they want so they can really have the life they want. I feel like I'm on vacation every day. I'm so proud of what I've built. I'm so proud of my skill set, and I'm so proud of the gift that God has given me that I can now give to you. I want to share this with you. God wants you in abundance, and let me help you enter that new state. Let me help you enter that new reality. Click the link below where it says Abundance Mindset. Get yourself a copy of it right now. This program you'll have access for the rest of your life. Whenever you need a reminder, you will be able to go through it again. Whenever you're going through a hard time, you'll be able to go through it again. Whenever you're leveling up and you want to go faster, you'll be able to go through it again. And that hypnosis audio will continuously remotivate you, reprogram your mind for every level you level up. Every time you watch that program, every time you reach a new income bracket, you'll get new insights that you maybe didn't notice before. So enjoy Abundance Mindset below, and I will see you on the other side.